Chapter 46. Chapter 46 should be entitled, Who is Carrying Who? You know, who is carrying who? Is your God carrying you, or are you carrying your God? This was a rebuke and a mockery of the idol worshippers. Okay? So we shall start verse 1. Again, the outline that is printed for you, following that can be a bit confusing. So let's just read it and study it verse by verse. Okay. Bel bows down and Nebo stoops. Their idols were on the beasts and on the cattle. Now, who are Bel and who are Bel and Nebo? Now, these are two very prominent gods of Babylon. And in the days past, they like the kings, they love to take names after these gods. So you look at Bel, you study the book of Daniel, you come across the name Belshazzar, right? Then again, this one Nebo, you can't get wrong. Who would be close to Nebo? Nebuchadnezzar. So the kings, the Persian kings, they love to take their names after the gods. So Bel bows down, Nebo stoops. Their idols were on the beasts and on the cattle. So all this, when they move around, all these idols, these gods, were placed on the animal. That's their transportation system, you follow me? So step in the pothole also, then the god got to bow down again, then stoop in, up, down, uneven. And when they move all these things, the carriages are all those filled laden with all their other items and jewelry and treasures and precious metal. So the carriages were heavy. So your carriages were heavily loaded. Now heavy also because these idols were probably made of gold or silver or whatever metals. So it's heavy. And it's a burden to the weary beast. So the poor cow, the poor bull find this torture. But that's what they do, especially on their annual festival and whatever feast, New Year, whatever. They move all these gods around. It's a burden. You look at you go Animal Planet or Geographic or whatever, you look at those places like in India, those villages when they worship, a lot of all these items. And Israel, Judah, they were in Babylon. Why were they there? Because of sin, right? But also because they went into idolatry. For when Nebuchadnezzar went into the temple and took out the items, also got idols in the temple of God. So that means the Jews were also into idolatry. And so God sent them out. And they went to Babylon. And after 70 years, and then when they came out, since then until today, the Jews were never into idolatry again. Right? You like it so much, right? You go on until they cannot handle it anymore. And when they came back, no more idolatry. They realized their mistake, why they were punished. Verse 2. They stooped and they bowed down together. They could not deliver the burden, but have themselves gone into captivity. So when the Babylonians were captured, the Bel and the Nebo also were captured. What? You follow me? they themselves have gone into captivity. So, who is carrying who? I rather serve a God. My God carries me. He holds me up with his righteous right hand. You follow me? He delivers me. He rescues me from the enemy. But this, they were carried around, they bow and they stoop, and sometimes got traffic light, red light, stop, and then drop, And then when enemies come, they also get captured. I rather God carry me than I carry the God. Small g. So, the helplessness, what we have just read, verse 1 and 2, we see the helplessness of idols versus God's love and strength. They are helpless indeed. But God's love is amazing. He is all powerful. So, verse 3, now listen to me. So he says to Israel, listen to me, O house of Jacob, and all the remnant of the house of Israel. Why did he say remnant? Because not the whole house are God-fearing. Some were not, but the remnants, they are. And all the remnant of the house of Israel who have been upheld by me from birth. Upheld by means what? Carried by me. I've been holding you up by my righteous right hand. And that is in Isaiah 41 verse 10. Who have been carried from the womb. From the womb to the tomb, God will carry us. He knew us even when we were in our mother's womb. And he carried us. And he carried them from the womb. Even to your old age, I am he. Even to gray hairs, I will carry you. You all dye your hair. Okay, anyway. Even to gray hairs, I will carry you. I have made and I will bear. Even I will carry and will deliver you. I read this, my English is very simple. No? It is certainty, definitely, surely. No? Right now. Did God say in anything using whatever grammar that sounds to me like a bit ambiguous? Maybe, maybe not. No. I see in verse 4, it is his personal commitment. He said, I will, I will, I will. I will carry you and will deliver you. Verse 5, to whom? To whom will you liken me and make me equal and compare me that we should be alike? So who are you going to compare me with? God is saying. With your bell, with your Nebo, they have to be carried. So there is no comparison. The incomparable God, he is infinite. We are finite. He is infinite. And the only way to know this God is through Jesus. No one else. Okay, verse 6. So what did they do? What did they do? They lavished gold, the idol worshippers, they lavished gold out of the bag and weigh silver on the scales. They hire a goldsmith and he makes it a god. They then prostrate themselves. Yes, they worship. So they go to the idol maker. Today I brought my bag. Pour out all the gold, and then put some silver. Now make a god for me. After you make prostrate. But he also tells us one thing. You got gold, but does everyone have gold? No, right? You got silver, does everyone? No one. That means got rich God and poor God. So for those, we read in previous chapters, those who have money, wealthy, they can make all this. They got rich God. For those who don't have, they take the trees, take the branches, the cedar, cola, So, funny, right? Funny, right? My God is rich, man. I don't need to be rich, but He is rich. But in Him, I am rich. We are heirs and joint heirs with Christ. Whatever God gave to Jesus, I have. Okay, like last night, I was sharing at my course what Jesus left for us. Wow, I give them 5 items. 5 things Jesus left for us. So you must come to my course. No, cannot. I'll do it again one Sunday, okay? So, but not this Friday. This coming Friday is Easter. Pastor said, you preach about Easter. Okay. Anyway, so, verse 7, they bear on the shoulder. They carry it and set it in its place, and it stands. From its place it shall not move. Though one cries out, yet it cannot answer, nor save him out of his trouble. Exactly like what I told you last week. My friend said, wow, on fire. My house got fire. I still got to go and carry the idol on. After that, no more. You're supposed to protect me, you know. Fire, I got to carry on, no more. So, verse 8. Remember this and show yourselves men. Recall to mind, O you transgressors, O you sinners. Remember the former things of God of old. For I am God, and there is no other. I am God, and there is none like me. So, what God is saying is, this is mercy. This is grace. After all this, you still worship idols. I should actually just eliminate you, destroy you. But God is saying, just think back. Think back what I, the Lord, had done for you. Okay, just remember the former things. Recall to mind. Okay, show yourselves men. Be a man. Be a man. Don't just be following the crowd. Think for yourself. Recall, remember the former things of old. For I am the Lord, there is no other. I am God, and there is none like me. Declaring the end from the beginning, and from the ancient times things that are not yet done, saying, my counsel shall stand, and I will do all my pleasure. I will do all my pleasure. Now, they study the Torah, they know the Old Testament better than you and I. And all the commandments, the promises of God, everything all there. And all this, God, as He promised, I will deliver you, I'll keep you from the enemy and so on. And as they live through the years, and in the history, they know God delivered them. God has been providing. God is faithful. And now you are turning, it's called adultery. So you are turning from me, I'm the husband, Israel is the wife. You are turning from me, you're committing adultery with the other gods. That is adultery. So you go back, and read and think. I declare the end from the beginning, and from the ancient times, things that are not yet done. My counsel shall stand. That means what? I will not change my mind. All my word shall come to pass. And I will do all my pleasure. Verse 11, calling a bird of prey from the east, the man who executes my counsel from a far country. Indeed, I have spoken it, and I will also bring it to pass. I have purposed it, I will also do it. Now, verse 11. Now, jump back to verse 11. Now, who is he referring to? Who is he referring to? Cyrus. So, the bird is just a picture, a metaphor. Because the next line tells me, same line, the man. So, it's about a man. And where is this man from? From the east. Who was from the east? Cyrus. Okay? From a far country. You saw the map just now, right? Persia is quite far. From Jerusalem, Persia is quite far. Far country. when all these are given, it's always the point of reference is from Jerusalem. Yeah, to the north of what? Jerusalem. East. So far country. East man must be Cyrus. And to confirm this, a bird of prey. So if you go and Google and go and find the old ancient flag of Persia, you will find a phoenix looking bird. A phoenix looking bird. Okay? That is the bird. So referring all this to, pointing to Cyrus. Calling a bird of prey from the east. So if you just read the Bible, and you call a bird, the bird is also man. So no wonder got bird man. That is cartoon. Okay? This is just a picture. A bird of prey from the east, the man who executes my counsel. Because you all, you know Ezekiel 34? You all are my shepherds, but you have been bad shepherds. Because you have failed in what I've asked you to do. So I'm going to get a Gentile to do. So this guy executes my counsel. And he said, I've spoken it. I will also bring it to pass. I purpose it. I will also do it. And I will. Means what? Not yet. But this is 200 years before. 200 years later, it happened. Marvelous. So listen to me. You stubborn-hearted who are far from righteousness. Or we can also, we are also quite familiar with this description of Israelites. Stiff-necked, right? Stiff-necked. Stubborn. But the father scolding the children, it's okay. We as parents, we must also rebuke our children, must also discipline our children as and when needed. God was quite firm with them because He loves them. He chastened those whom He loved. Yet, while He called them stubborn-hearted, far from righteousness, yet in verse 13, you see grace. Grace. I will bring my righteousness near. I will bring to you. It shall not be far off. My salvation shall not linger. And where is righteousness now? Where is righteousness now? Upon us. Upon us. In the old thinking, law is, I want to earn righteousness. So I must do this, I must do this, I cannot do that, I cannot do it. So I score points. Otherwise the religious policeman, the Pharisee will come, get you, throw you into prison. Yeah. So I must do. But it's not works. It's not works. So God said, I will bring, and He has brought. Now righteousness is upon us. We have the robe of righteousness upon us, imputed upon us. My salvation shall not linger, and I will place, not yet, I will place salvation in Zion. For Israel, my glory. Whose purpose? For His purpose. His purpose. Because He said so in Genesis chapter 12 to Abraham. Through you, all nations will be blessed. I'm making you my chosen one. And if this doesn't come to fulfillment, then people will say, you see, God's word not true. God's word doesn't come to pass. But it will come to pass. I will place salvation in Zion. And for Israel, my glory. And who will be glorified at the end? God. Amen. And that is a short chapter, chapter 46.